Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that little technical difficulty. Welcome to this evening's board meeting. May I please have roll call?
Mr. Finaro.
Here.
Ms. Grosek.
Here.
Mrs. Grieve.
Here.
Mr. Hess.
Here.
Mr. Tressi. Here.
Okay, this evening we have a very special guest. Alban? Is that how, Albin? Would you come up and help us with the Pledge of Allegiance and then stay up here, please?
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
All right, Alvin, you ready, buddy? So you get to hold the big fancy proclamation, okay? I'm going to read the same thing as you hold that, all right? That's for you to take with you. So, Board of Education members, community, I am so thrilled to announce Albin Soljeka as our Student of the Month from Millridge. Whereas Albin is in grade 5, a kind, motivated, and articulate student at Millridge Elementary. He has earned the respect of his peers and teachers by consistently making great choices and demonstrating our Millridge essentials. When it comes to our essentials, it would be hard to select just one that describes Albin, but be the best person you can be is a great description of how Albin functions each and every day. And whereas Albin is admired by his teachers, when asked about his positive qualities, Mr. Myers, Mrs. Flowers, Ms. Dulciato, and Mrs. Dutton stated the following: Albin is one of the kindest students I have ever had the pleasure of teaching. He has the qualities of a great student, hardworking, inquisitive, thorough with his work, but my favorite quality of Albin is his kindness. This is seen when he comes to Millridge every day with a smile on his face. There it is. Ready to learn. He never hesitates to help a teacher or a classmate with anything, whether it is helping a friend figure out a tough problem or just lending a helping hand in the classroom. Albin has respect and care for all of his peers, and deservedly so, they give it right back to him. Albin is bright and inquisitive, but never makes anyone feel inadequate if they ever need help understanding a concept. This makes Albin an ideal student, friend, and fantastic person. I'm not done yet, okay? Can I keep going? And whereas, when you ask Albin's peers to describe him, they shared, Albin is the nicest kid I know. If I ever need something, Albin is always there to help. He is always happy. And whereas, recently, Albin has shown an interest in benefiting others. He is the sole student in 5th grade to speak with me, Principal Karoff, about enhancing the technology available to Millridge students, often sending me emails from home on his own time. Now, therefore, be it resolved, on behalf of all the members of the Mayfield school community, Albin Soljeka is named the Mayfield Board of Education Student of the Month for Millridge Elementary on this day, March 16th, 2022. Woo!
Let's hold. Let's have Mom and Dad come up here. Yeah, absolutely. Down a little more. They came up this way. Can we take your picture with your family? Go ahead. Yep. I'm right behind you, so we're good.
And I wanted just Albin by himself. Thank you.
I'll hold this house.
Go ahead. It's all right.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very nice. Congratulations. Congratulations. Sorry about that.
He's a pin for you to put on
Down the
your
line.
jacket.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All of us.
All right. Well, Board of Education members, Dr. Barnes, Mr. Snyder, community, we would like to share with you today really what our theme was this year, and that is all about our successes. We talked about creating moments of success as a district, and that's something that we definitely wanted to do and carry forward into our building this year. So what you're going to see here is a lot of successes from our staff and from our kids, more importantly. Beginning of the year, we started off with four goal areas, 4 areas that I challenged the staff to really exemplify and share with our students. The power of the team. That is something that we as a district really believe strongly in, and that's something that at Millridge we really believe strongly in as well. We really wanted to focus on that this year. Getting better every single day. For kids like Albin, for our students, they deserve it, and we want to keep getting better and better for them. We also want to take care of each other, and we want to take care of our students. We felt that that was extremely important, especially in a very unpredictable start to a year. Continues to be important to this day. And then the last one that's, I think, important to all of us, making sure that we analyze data and make really good decisions about our instructional practices for our students. I also closed out with this slide with the opening staff meeting. I told the staff we have 1,104 instructional hours this school year. And what are we going to do with them? That was my challenge to them. We are 3/4 of the way through that, and you know I know that and am very proud of what we're going to be starting to share here out of those instructional hours.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stephanie Cicerci. I'm the assistant principal at Millridge. Thank you to Dr. Barnes and the board and our community and our teachers for being here to share with us this evening. You know, when we were going back and forth about what we wanted to present on, we both had a lot of ideas. And so we said, let's ask the most important people. Let's ask the teachers and let's ask our kids. And we asked one simple yet very powerful question. What are you proud of? The responses were overwhelming. We had teachers say, I only get 1 slide. How many pictures am I allowed to put up there? How many topics are we allowed to talk about? So that's just a true testament to the great things that are happening in this building. So I promise you we have a very condensed version of all the things that we are proud of. So I'm going to start just with kindergarten. The biggest initiative this year with kindergarten has been focused on our writing workshop. Working on writing, but also setting goals. It is amazing what our teachers are doing with our kindergartners. We have 5- and 6-year-olds setting individual goals around writing. Every classroom that you walk into, there's a goal board, and there's different elements of writing. Details, labeling, sentence writing, and they each have their little picture, and each week they meet with their teacher, and they put their picture on what their focus is for the week. So it's a great way to set a foundation for a student-centered learning environment, and we couldn't be more proud of them. First grade. First grade is so proud of fostering opportunities for collaboration, creativity, communication, not only within their classroom walls, but as a full grade level. I would say their most joy has been the opportunity to take the kids down to Playhouse Square to see a play. They collaborated with Synergy, and our kiddos read a book in Synergy about the play they were going to see. And they just got to experience a real-world experience with kids. For most of them, it was the first time they've ever been down there. I did say I was going to share this story. We had a first grade student who, when they were learning about the field trip, said, Ms. Vermaley, what's Cleveland? And she said, well, it's a city. And so as you can imagine, it was a teachable moment. Well, what's a city? Well, it's a place with tall buildings, and people work there, and there's fun things to do. So after the play, the student stepped out, and the teacher described it as she was just embracing her surroundings. And she looked at her and she said, Miss Vermaley, this is the Cleveland. So that was just an absolute, confirmation of why we're here working with children. So I did want to share that story as well. And finally, second grade. Second grade has really led our building this year in intervening frequently with kids. We are so fortunate to have the opportunity to meet as grade level teams every 6 days and just talk about kids and talk about instruction. And so in the fall, they created a process where, they talked about kiddos who maybe are struggling in certain areas or kiddos who are mastering certain concepts, and just talked about ideas and interventions. And every 6 days, they review that list, and it's just a great way to be frequently checking in on kids. They've really, really embraced that, and like I said, have been definitely leaders of the building for that for us. Next.
So I'm going to pick up with our third grade proud moments. Third grade, as you can see up there, is extremely proud of the ability to differentiate for their students. They absolutely believe in relationships for kids. They take a lot of pride in the different experiences that they've given kids this year. The center picture on the bottom there is one of our students, Lucy, and students got to pick and share with the class what they learned about matter, but they chose how they wanted to show that. Some of them chose obviously to use Google Slides. Others brought in objects and actually showed their understanding of matter. But the third grade team said, we're going to give you anything that you need to make sure that you can show us what you've learned. Was a great accomplishment for that grade level. Fourth grade, this was pretty impressive, and I see Ms. Pona smiling in the audience there. They challenged kids right around Thanksgiving time to actually create a float that would be in the Macy's Day Parade, but they only gave them certain materials, and they let them collaborate with peers. And the creations the kids came up with was astounding. So they had to actually figure out, how am I going to build this? How am I going to construct it? What kind of math is associated with that as well? And so it was really all-encompassing, and it was just a great experience to walk into our MPR, using that as a big collaborative space, and really see the kids truly engaged. I had to bug kids to answer some of the questions because they were so engaged in what they were doing. So props to that team for doing that and taking that on. And then our fifth grade, I'm also very proud of this grade level too. They have done some definite shifts in I think getting some of our kids ready for what they'll experience in middle school. They have done things like taken an entire day and let students finish a writing piece from beginning to end. They have done things like do a whole team assessment at one time so that we can capitalize on all the adults within that team and have the kids actually have some choice in where they want to take that assessment so that they can do the best that they can and show us what they know. We've done things like the top left corner where kids will actually read what they wrote in front of their peers in front of a red carpet. And just the overall ability to be flexible with our time and really use that to our advantage. And I'm really proud of that group as well. That's our biggest group in the building, and it's special meaning to me as well because it's the first group that I've seen K all the way through 5. So I'm very, very, very proud of this group. I think I'm talking about synergy, right? Okay. This has been such a huge win for the district, but I will say specifically for Millridge. Kelly Sinelli and Tori Neff and Gina Rosito have done such a phenomenal job in not only updating what some of our practices are and really zeroing in on some habits of mind that we're really reinforcing with kids, but they've just given kids some unique opportunities that you can't find anywhere else. I would bet you that you couldn't find this anywhere else. Things like creating keychains by using online programming, but also our 3D printer. Investigating worms in second grade and really diving in. I remember doing dissections in high school, not in elementary school. We're doing things like collaborating up top there in the center to find a path and having to collaborate and choose what direction that's going to take. Our kindergartners are making little monsters and measuring how tall they are with cubes. You name it, we've done it. And some of the experiences that are yet to come, I can't wait to see them. In fact, our kindergartners are actually going to construct and build a community coming up here very soon, which is such a great part of what we can offer. We also made sure to, still embed literacy within that special. It's really important that kids have the ability to check out physical books again and be able to, really take a look and see what they can learn from a book, not from just something that they find on the internet. And then the last thing that I'll mention with Synergy that we're really proud of is we have a partnership with Aberdeen Crossing, and we have actually continued that partnership throughout the entire school year, and we have sent them, little well messages. We're actually currently recording in music class some songs that we're going to send to them that they can play. We have, as you can see in here, we've made them hearts and sent them. We are doing things with our green screen. That's another huge win that we have a whole room devoted to. That was a huge priority for the building this year. We are using that more frequently throughout the back half of the year. So we're doing all kinds of things that I think kids are just really engaged with. I hear a lot about that class. So I'm super proud of the staff and the kids.
This is an initiative that we started this year. I went to our specialists team and I said, we're going to try something. We have a group of kiddos with pretty comprehensive needs in our building, and we wanted to make sure we were able to meet their needs. So we've created an adaptive specials program. The best part about this is that it is a peer program. So we have second and third graders who come down every morning to engage with our students. And it has grown to lunch and recess, and we have a list of kiddos who want to volunteer to be part of it. So it's just been an amazing experience for everybody all around.
I'm going to just briefly talk about these next two slides because you're going to hear about it from our kids, and that's who you really want to hear from, not from us. But we did a couple of different school-wide initiatives around kindness throughout the course of the year. And so these are just some pictures of our You Matter Week and also our 2-2-22 challenge, since the kids weren't here on 2-22-22. So we did something on 2-2-22. But why not hear about it from the kids?
The whole goal of the Secret Kindness Mission is to spread kindness throughout the school and make sure everybody's happy all the time. I am Cecilia, and I'm Isabella. And we decided to be kind by doing a school-wide fundraiser. And it was so kind that we donated. We had 2 cars full of food. I learned that 2 people can make a difference. Hi, my name is Alvin Soljaka, and this is Avery Carter. And today we'll be talking about how we were being kind on 2-2-22. People got need donations for a place called Ford's House in Lake County. It provides a safe place for families to go while they're trying to end the cycle of domestic violence. We also were giving out tickets for the students that were being kind.
So I remember kids coming out of the bathroom and saying, "Mr. Karoff, what's this?" And I read it and I said, "Well, you have to do it. You took it, so you got to do it." Of course, that squad was a kind of a secret squad in the building, and so the kids took a lot of pride in that, but nobody really knew what was going on. The kids had no idea. Even some of the staff didn't really know what it was either, which I thought was great. But Mrs. Gamir did a fantastic job with both of those events, and the kids got a real kick out of it. The two third grade girls that you saw, and you saw the Cleveland Food Bank flashed up. I had the privilege of loading up not only their parents' cars, but my own car with 2 tons of boxes that were donated to the Cleveland Food Bank. Those girls emailed me. They wanted to do that. They thought about it on their own. They picked the organization, and they did it all by themselves. And those are third grade students. So that's pretty impressive. Super impressive. All right, we have one more for you, and this is just... There we go. This is just what our kids think of Millridge and what they like about Millridge. And we'll close out with this.
Hi, my name is Esau, and I love Miss Miller because he has a big treasure chest. Hi, my name is Mason. I like meeting with friends and doing activities with them. Hi, my name is Kayla. I like doing math workshop. My name is Lucas, and I like playing with my friends. Hi, my name is Romina, and I like to read. Hello, my name is Rosalie Ranker, and I'm a 4th grader at Millridge Elementary. I love my teacher because she makes us score sheets, and what those do is that they tell you that, like, you need to do this much, and once you're done, you put check marks and turn it into her. And this time, my goal is to make 14 and 13 people smile. Hi, I'm Ricky, and I'm a 4th grader. And something that I really like about Millridge Elementary is that if you're stuck on something, the teachers are always there to help you. They can, like on a math problem, I don't really know what the answer is, but they do tell you like what to do. Like if it's dividing, multiplying, adding, or subtracting. My name is Allie. I'm in 5th grade, and I like morning meeting because the teachers help us have fun during morning meeting, and it's a good way to start our mornings. Hi, my name is Erica, and I'm a 3rd grader, and I researched about music. I recorded what I learned from Lisa, and gave it my grade. My name is Maya, I'm in 1st grade, and this is my goal sheet. It helps me keep track of the first half and second half. My name is Vincent, and I'm in 1st grade. You set goals for the week on Lexi and Green Box. Hi, I'm Julia. Hi, I'm Julia. This year we learned about coding. First, we learned about mouses and how to code them with these arrows. Second, we learned about the bots, and we coded them with code codes. And we used the bot and coded them with the word translate. Hello, my name is Matthew. I'm in 5th grade, and what creating or like what making something 3D has taught me is that you can make a lot of your own things. Like you can make like a cup, you can make a holder, you can make anything with the right materials. And again, if you have the right materials, you can like actually have something like that's usable. Like you can make like a wacky snake. You can really make anything with 3D printers like this. And these, and it's really all about your creativity and imagination. Hi, my name is Ariana, and my name is Logan. And in Health Class, we've been talking about the habits of mind. What habits of mind is creating, imagining, and innovating. Sometimes we use this in school, is when we're doing synergy room, when we're 3D spinning, or when we're tough things like maybe work or like schoolwork, anything. Just make a quick joke about it to make everything a little better. My name is Eli, and my habit is that I never give up. As an example, on a math test, if I can't get the answer right or figure it out, I always keep trying. Hi, my name is Sebastian. Hi, my name is Belinda. And I like morning meeting because I like to do.
Ah, whoa. Whoa. We have to do.
So we have a little bit of fun with the green screen at Millridge. So if you ever want to get down, just come on over to Millridge, and we'll help. Mrs. Sinelli will help you out. The kids have so much fun with that, and the staff, I can tell, is really starting to embrace it. We're doing announcements. Teachers are signing up for it. Kids are doing it. So it's not just my face or Steph's face or Melissa Gamir's face on morning announcements. So it's been really nice. But we're just going to close out by just thanking all of you for your continued support. We did have some of our fifth graders, and they signed who it's from. Use our 3D printer to create a keychain for each one of you up at the front of the table. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, and thanks staff for being here.
Fantastic use of the green screen. Loved it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thought that was appropriate.
Thank you.
Oh,
Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
Nice job.
thank you very much for an absolutely outstanding presentation. It's really great to see all the great things that are happening at Millridge. My own children went through Millridge, and it is an ever-evolving place, and it's wonderful to see the whole kindness squad and see some of the integration that's going on. I will say, because of events like that, as my daughter graduated from high school, my daughter has special needs, there was a maitre d' at a restaurant that I didn't recognize, and she said, "How's Annie?" And I said, "Fine." And she said, "Oh, you probably don't remember me, but I was in Annie's first grade class." And so it's that kindness, that integration, that all getting along with each other that is just so helpful and meaningful to have everybody in the community be as one. So thank you. Alrighty, that moves us to community communications. We had two individuals that contacted us ahead of time. The first is, oh, I'm sorry, yes, before we do that, if the Millridge students want to leave, they're welcome to. I know that we drone on. Sorry. Thank you.
Test, test, check, check, test, test.
Congratulations. Congratulations again. Congrats. Congratulations again. Congratulations.
Good job on that screen there. You're talking. I didn't think you were going to end. I thought you were going to keep talking and talking.
I mean, I would do that.
I know you would. Here, see ya. Come here a minute. Come here. My niece Rosalia.
Nice to meet
and
you.
Braden. They're both at Millridge.
Hey, nice to meet you.
I'm Andrea, John's sister. Nice to
Oh,
meet you.
wow. Hey, nice to meet you. Pleasure. Thanks for being here.
My niece.
Okay. You can do that.
Alrighty, back to community communications. We did have two individuals contact us. Jay Levac was the first. I don't think he's here, however.
No.
Mr. Levac, okay. The second was Jamie Rathod. Is that how you pronounce it? All right.
Jamie, you'll be getting a mic?
And if you would, as you state your name and address, 'cause that's the one thing we didn't have.
Absolutely.
And Jamie, you'll have 5 minutes. I'll give you kind of a hands up, about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So you're aware. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jamie Rathod, and I reside at 1531 Temple Avenue. I have come here today to address the board with concerns related to the education of special needs children within our district. My intention is to help facilitate positive change and appropriate and effective support for students with special education needs. I am very nervous, so forgive me. In May of 2012, I brought my son to Millridge Elementary for an evaluation for their preschool program. During this evaluation, I was informed that there were several concerns regarding his developmental milestones. At this time, he was not admitted, and I was informed that it was too late in the year to secure any services for him. I was instructed to wait and see how the summer months go and to check back in the fall. That summer, he was fully evaluated at University Hospital to address developmental concerns. He was diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder, and we were provided with an in-depth intervention plan to support his needs. We found and enrolled him in a private preschool that was willing to follow that plan and provide the support our family needed. We also initiated the process of obtaining the scholarship offered by the state of Ohio for children diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders. Per Ohio law, in order to be eligible for this scholarship, your child must have a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, and you are required to opt out of public education and attend a private school or a provider that accepts the scholarship. As you are aware, the home district in which the student resides is responsible for the development, monitoring, and evaluation of the student's education plan. That fall, I contacted Millridge to inquire about scheduling an IEP meeting, and I was told that he was listed as a typical peer on their preschool waiting list. I explained that we had consulted with them the previous spring and that I was told that my son had a definite special education need. We shared the evaluation and intervention plan from University Hospital with the Millridge School Education team, as well as his status as a student at the private preschool and our initiation and acceptance of the state scholarship for children on the spectrum. During the initial and subsequent meetings with the special education team at Millridge, we were reminded by school staff that the state scholarship funding comes out of the school district, comes out of their budget. We believe in the right of every child to have their education needs met and the responsibility of the school district to make every effort to meet that child's needs. We understand that school funding is an issue. However, that issue needs to be taken up with the legislator, not an already stressed parent of a special needs child. It should be the policy of the school district to refrain from making any comments that are mean, that are meant to elicit guilt or concessions from any parent or student. On many occasions, when we have requested academic goals to be added to our son's education plan, we have been met with resistance. Children are continuously evolving, and it is critical that their education plan evolve with them. Educators have a responsibility to make those adjustments in a timely manner in order to serve the needs of the child. So very briefly, I have outlined 5 things that I am proposing today. The 5 following objectives that I would like to see the Mayfield School District implement. Number 1, school personnel should refrain from making any comments about the funding implications to a district when meeting with parents about IEPs. Number 2, all Board of Education staff members should have an in-depth knowledge and understanding of the IEP, ETR, and scholarship processes. And don't worry about taking notes. I can give you my last sheet, and you can feel free to take a look at it. Number 3, educational services to support special needs students should be provided in a timely manner. 4, the school district should support and encourage families by considering the goals that they want to implement on their IEPs to facilitate their children's academic success.
Jeez.
Can I give you number 5?
I'll ask the,
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. The school district should accurately document academic records, evaluations, and education plans that match what is conveyed to parents. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here today and allowing me to speak with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, we will move on to President's announcements, as there was nobody else who wished to speak to a agenda item. And other than the fact that St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, spring is coming, we're getting very close, the weather is showing, it's wonderful. I have no announcements. Oh, and Beauty and the Beast is coming up. So please, take advantage of that opportunity to go see Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, thank you. A couple of announcements I'd like to share with the board and the public. We have our second set of Listen and Learn meetings set this spring after spring break, which begins next week. First will be March 30th at Center, and we will publish these. Then April 6th at Lander, April 20th at Mill Ridge, and May 4th at Gates Mills. We're going to make some time adjustments. We tried to follow the same format as an AM and PM alternating like we did in the first semester. But because they're hosted at a school building, we're going to elect to have those in the evening. So we'll make those adjustments and have those dates and times forthcoming for the community. Again, tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. Wish everyone the very, very best. This Friday, we will have our first annual Community Leaders Breakfast at Mayfield High School. I believe that starts at 7:30. Is that right? We're looking forward to that. We've set on this quest of engaging the community. That's why we started Coffee Talks, Listen and Learns, building visits, meeting with different groups, community stakeholders, and this is just a continuation of that to show our appreciation to our community leaders, that is, of their valued partnership in creating opportunities for our children. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Next, that moves us to board member committee reports.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As chair of the board subcommittee on student learning and academic excellence, on March the 2nd, I was pleased to be able to present to a number of parents and educators the board's vision for the future, the board's goals, and how all-access learning will impact the learning spaces at Lander School. In attendance at Lander School, there were 15 to 20 parents and educators in the audience. Dr. Patrick Ward, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and Mr. Steve Netlick, Assistant Superintendent, discussed the topic of facilities, current and future. They also discussed what we could do to utilize our current footprint and how to engage the community on major topics that impact our school district. After the discussion period, we toured the building looking at what would be feasible changes or choices to the facility. After the tour, we headed back to the classroom and had those in attendance put their thoughts down on paper as to what they would like to see in the future. The meeting was 1 hour long and very productive. Thank you.
Awesome.
I do have one. Thank you, Madam Chair. This past Monday, the 14th, our Fiscal, Stewardship, and Operations Committee met. The board representatives, Mr. Hess and myself, the leads for the administration, Mr. Snyder, Mr. Nedlick met, and Dr. Barnes was there. We met to discuss and plan some key topics for upcoming meetings, so stay tuned late April, early May for a meeting on that. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other reports?
Madam President, thank you, and good evening, everyone. As the presiding chair for the Community Relations and Family Partnerships, I have reported on this for the last 2 months about the Mayfield Schools Foundation annual Topgolf fundraiser, which is being held on Sunday, April 10th from 12 to 3. I am pleased to report that of the 27 bays that are available, we only have 5 left. So we are very close. I anticipated we would have another sellout, and it looks like we will. So with just a few weeks left, I'm feeling very confident that those 5 will be sold. The Topgolf committee met last evening at Topgolf with our event planner, who we're specifically working with to finalize the details on the menu, placement of our sponsorship flags, et cetera. So we're just finalizing those details. We are still seeking donations for raffle prizes and items that would be offered in our silent auction. So if you know of anyone that may be willing to donate, feel free to have them contact me. But again, we're really excited about this event and looking forward to another really great time. So thank you.
Good job.
Any other? All righty. That will move us to the superintendent's consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve items A through S?
So moved.
Second.
Madam President, if I might just interject and just make a statement of farewell and wishing them the very, very best. We have 3 staff members retiring. Ed Tahila, who works in horticulture, Nancy Farmer, who also works in horticulture, and Audrey Kodish, who is a paraprofessional at Center, are all retiring. So we wish them the very, very best in their future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Finaro,
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Next, we move to other superintendent's business. Approval for the Mayfield student handbooks.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Finaro,
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And in the treasurer's report, the financial statements for February 28th, 2022. Motion to
moved.
approve. Thank you.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Finaro,
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Next, we have donations, my favorite. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Finaro,
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Next, we have an addendum financial transaction. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Finaro,
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And moving to other treasurer's business, we have the financial statements of services, the auditor of State of Ohio. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Just by way of clarification, this is an annual contract that we approve where the state auditor assists us in moving our cash financials to the modified accrual method so we can file the CAFR and hopefully continue to receive the certificate in excellence in financial reporting. So
Which has been how many years now?
20, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a pretty strong record. We're very proud of it.
So congratulations to you and your staff,
The team
the team.
and the district.
Roll call.
Mr. Finaro,
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve,
Yes.
Ms. Grosek,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And we also have the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 23rd. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fenaro.
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And in other board business, we have the board policy final reading and adoption. So this being the final reading, there will be a vote.
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Fenaro.
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Next, we have certified and classified substitute rate changes.
So moved.
Second.
Madam President, if I might just add here, we're asking the board to consider these adjustments for the balance of the year. This is an incredibly competitive market for substitutes, both classified and certified. Thanks to Mr. Fetchick and Mr. Snyder, a market analysis was conducted. We think that these adjustments are reasonable, and we will assess them at the end of the year to see if they assist us in our fill rates among both certified and classified staff members for the balance of the year.
I will say, as a substitute in a different district, I think that it is very appropriate.
We are tying
Could be
these
very helpful.
to the federal one-time ESSER funds, and then determine whether or not the impact of COVID, obviously what's happening nationally with inflation, how that's going to, if it's a one-time event, if we're out of it, if we're going to get back to some sense of normalcy. So as Dr. Barnes indicated, we'll evaluate it over the summer. But this hopefully will be that bridge.
Roll call.
Mr. Fenaro.
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
At this time, I need a motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
I also have to say, due to Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1, to consider the employment of public employees, and Ohio Revised Code 121.22G4, to prepare for, conduct, or review collective bargaining strategy.
So moved.
Do I have a
Second.
second? I will also state that we do not have any action after that, so we will conclude the meeting officially after executive session, but there is nothing else to discuss. Roll call.
Mr. Fenaro.
Yes.
Mrs. Grieve.
Yes.
Ms. Grosek.
Yes,
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
that's a semi-wrap.
You got one too. I thought you brought that with you.